hello. How are you? So, if you were with me yesterday, you might be wondering why I'm back today so soon. And I mean, ideally, I do like to do a video each day, but I did a almost 2.5 hour video yesterday, and for some reason, only 40 minutes of it has uploaded. So if this one works, I might delete that one. Okay. I haven't brought everything out today that I had out yesterday. Just because it took so long to go through it all, I thought I would maybe do a different, separate video again, as long as I can keep track of what I'm doing. I've tried to set my camera up differently today, so hopefully this is a bit of a better view for you guys. I just hope I don't bump it, because I am actually wrapped around the camera stand. My body's wrapped around it, just to be able to get in the correct position so I can still see the screen, really. If you guys start commenting like you usually do and I'm not responding with what I'm saying during this live video, that's just because I can't, the camera may have moved slightly, or I've moved in my seat position and I can't see what you're saying. I apologise. So yeah, I've lost all of yesterday, so I'll do some of that again today. I think I'll just start with a few things that I've got available that I really want to shift A, off my Instagram, and B, out of my house, because I've got a lot of stuff here at the moment that's not exactly conducive to the path I want to take with the kits and the sewing I'm doing. There's that much stuff in my lounge and dining at the right moment. I spend hours each day just like, they're all in, everything's in crates. Everything's pressed and cleaned and ironed and whatnot. But because I've got so many crates and containers, I'm just constantly moving them around all day looking for stuff to do parcels and kits and orders and things. So I'd love to okay guys, I think I'm gonna bump the screen a bit for a minute. I'll try not to. I've just noticed I haven't latched the front door, and if something gets my dog's attention and she lunges at the door, not only will she take off, she will take the camera and everything with her, because the cable is running across in front of the door. Okay, so I think I've fixed that. This isn't the most ideal setup, this stand. What I've ended up doing, those of you who have been following along for a while would know that I had a ring light stand that fell apart. I think that happened before Christmas. I have not had the money to replace it, and my son lent me a desktop stand that he had. I mean, it's been doing the job, but it's not the best angle, and it gets in the road. It takes up a lot of my table space here. So today I came up with the brilliant idea of removing the top part of the broken ring light, and I have taped the table stand to the pole stand bit of the ring light stand. So hopefully, in theory, it's doing the same action. I do have lights attached to this actually. I forgot they need new batteries in them, which I do have. I could actually go in and get some batteries. I should have done that. So I have got a bit of a setup here that I'm a little bit happier with than what it has been. and I guess we'll just see how we go, hey? So to try and explain, I'm not really square on with the desk. I'm sort of looking off, I'm angled a bit to the left, a bit, you know, like about a 35-degree angle, I suppose. And the stand is tilted over, because if I stand it upright, I can't get the correct angle for the camera. So the stand is tilted over, it's leaning on the desk, and it's right beside my leg. So it's a bit tentative. And then when I'm coming in here to show you things here, the stand is actually right here between my arms. And I'm trying to look up and down onto, which sounds ridiculous, looking up and down. So I'm looking upwards, but also trying to look down onto the camera screen so I can see what's going on, to make sure I've got things in the shot and to see if you guys are commenting. So let's get down to it, hey. I just want to start, as I mentioned, with a few things I've got available that I want to clear out. Now, yesterday I showed some of these and they were not the correct ones, so I think today have I got the correct ones? I think I might have the wrong ones again. Crikey. Let's have a look. No, I've got the correct ones. So I've got these up on my Instagram page, which is Gladys and Maude Unearthed. And these are parts of a salvaged linen tablecloth. Now this tablecloth wasn't damaged in the sense that it was torn or worn. There was none of that. But it had some heavy staining, including paint, like house paint on it. Now, I must admit, I haven't soaked this cloth before I salvaged it. I should have. I normally do. I've just had a huge amount of stuff going on in my life, and I'm exhausted, and I just didn't make the time to do it. But we've got this piece of, it's just a piece of linen, salvaged linen. There are some marks on it. These may wash out or soak out. There is a stitched line through here where it's been embroidered, and there's a bit of a scalloped edge. So I have kept some. The pieces I have kept are in worse shape. They've got more stains or they've got paint on them. And I thought that this scalloped edge in particular would be good for making pockets or pages in needle books, for example. I've also started using some as a base on a textile pinch pot sort of thing. So I've got 2 of these pieces available that have been listed. I've also got 2 corners that are listed. These corners have embroidery on them, and it really is lovely embroidery. You can see there's a bit of a stain. A little bit of a stain. I don't know if it's a rust mark or what. It might soak out. I don't know. And there's another bit up here. So, and I can't remember what these are. Maybe $8. I honestly can't remember. I haven't looked. But if they're not moving, I will mark them down after a week or 2, because as I said, I need to move them on and get them out. I can see outside here there's a bit of yellowing down here. Again, that might wash out, but it is lovely stitching, the satin stitch. However, these are actually machine stitched, which I don't often see on linen like this. You turn the back over and you can tell it's machine stitched. So there's 2 corners. They're opposite corners. And I thought these pieces, which as I said, I've kept 2 that have got a lot more staining on them. one of the pieces I've got's got a great big hunk of white house paint here. I thought they'd also make great pockets in needle books, these bits, if we cut those out. And then I also have one of these listed as well, one of these pieces. Again, and look, you can see there's some marking on here. I don't know if it will wash out or not, but I still think they'd make really great. I mean, this size here would be good on a pinch pot or in a collage or something. So they are usable. They are workable pieces. So that's something that I've currently got listed. I haven't cleaned up my page since my last drop. I'm still waiting for some people to make payment, and I usually keep the listings up until the payment's made and the parcel's in the mail, because that makes it easier for me to keep track of who's ordered what and who's paid. So once all that's out, and again, not everyone from this last drop has made their payment, so most of the people who haven't, I think all of them now actually have private accounts. So if you may be listening to this, I don't know if you will, if you are listening to this, can you please go and check, because I can't contact you, I can't tag you, I can't send you a message, I can't let you know what your bundle is. So I need you guys to go and check for me, please. I need you to either add me or send me a message so we can open that communication, please. That would be great. Because I'm starting to get a little bit stressed that I can't reach you guys. There's a few of you this time, quite a few. But that's okay. That's okay. As long as you realise and you make contact, that would be fabulous. Okay, so what else do I have? I'll go through these bigger ones first. I have one mystery bundle of doilies. Now these doilies, as far as I'm aware, are all in excellent used condition. As I've gone over them, there's either no staining or minimal staining and no damage that I can see. But it is a bundle. It's a big bundle. These will be great for, oh my gosh, you know, I really don't have to tell you. The possibilities for these are endless. The reason I'm sharing this is because I've got 1, 2, 3, at least 4 crates full, and I'm never going to use them all, okay? And I keep being given more, so I want to start moving some on. I have some of my favourites in here. I'm not just sending you guys crap I don't like, honestly. This is, there's some real, I mean, this piece on the top I bought to add to my collection, but I'm not currently using it. It's a jug cover, this top one. And I honestly think that it would be better to go to someone who will appreciate it a bit more than I currently am. This green one is another of my favourite. It's nothing fancy, but it's a beautiful colour, beautifully crocheted. There's a couple of heavier pieces in here that are absolutely stunning. There's a couple that are ordinary, like this one on the back. That's nothing to write home about. There's 2 of them. They're just, you know, mass-produced white cotton doilies. But these ones are great to cut up, you know, like look at this scallop edge. How good would that look on a needlebook or a pinch pot or, you know, a textile collage, or even these pieces, these grid pieces I use in collages. There's so many great pieces in here. So I can't remember how much that one is, maybe 30. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I have dropped the price on that one. But as I said, there is a lot in that. There's 17, I think, doilies, and only one of them is small from memory. Then we've got, this one's different again. Let's jump over to this one. This is another mystery bundle, and this one's all fabrics, linens and cottons. There's I don't know what this one is, nylon or something. That one is not one I would use. That's why it's in there. But these ones, this one here is one of my favorite napkins. I have used this in a few of my projects. I didn't want to part with this, but again, I'd really like to share it around a bit, because, you know, I'm sure some of you guys would like the opportunity to use some of this nice stuff too. Same with these white ones. I have used these before, and I do have a couple more, and I do have some plans for these, but I've used these as pockets in needle books, or for pin cushions, or for a page in a needle book. So I thought you guys might share that. Same as this one. This linen, this is a hand embroidered linen piece underneath. I turned one of these into a pocket in a needle book. And this one here, this is a cotton one, embroidered. But again, as I said, they are mystery bundles, so I don't want to give too much away. Lovely hand embroidered little number here, and a damask napkin. So there's another mystery bundle I have listed. Then we have, this one is different again. Now this one is doilies again, but these are all damaged. They're either worn through, they're torn. I've tried to make sure there's either none or minimal staining. They're mainly just worn out. There's one here that's silk, and it's just starting to fall apart. But imagine using that in a collage and an embroidery. There's some little medallions in here that I've had. I've got a pile of these. I use them a lot. I use them as pockets in needle books. I use them for pin cushions. I use them in collages, same as these ones. And then that's mainly what I do with these damaged pieces as well. But again, I've got that much I thought I'd share around. I mean, this bit here was given to me, and someone has cut that out of a circular tablecloth. But that's all I've got left, because I've been using it. You know, they're all usable pieces. And yeah, mystery bundle of reclaimed crochet. So that's listed on my Instagram account. And as I said, they're listed because A, I want to share around. B, I need to clear out some of the stuff I've got here. And C, I can't remember what it was. Okay. I've also got the vintage sheeting bundles I put together. I think there's only 2 of those left, 1 or 2. So if you wanted one of those, you need to hop on. There's not much left. It's nearly all gone. And I've only got, I think there's only 2 of these bundles left. These are stunning. I know I keep raving about them. They have been drastically reduced by over 65%. These bundles. And again, they've only been reduced because I need to clear some stuff out of here. And these ones here, most of the profits from this are going to the aged care facility, and I want to send them some more money. So if you're in the market for some beautiful 1990s vintage, these are all around between 1990 and 1995. They're quilting cottons. Some of them are Peter Pan textiles. This is not a quilting cotton. This is like a lingerie cotton. I can't remember what it's called. Used to be used to make baby nighties or adult nighties. It's beautiful cotton fabric. There's 2 poly cottons in that one. I haven't charged for those because they're a poly cotton and they're a bit harder to work with sometimes. But yeah, you're getting these beautiful prints. I've been using these fabrics in quite a few of my projects, and as I said, they're beautiful fabrics, beautiful to work with, very pretty. So only a couple of those left. I've still got a few of these, like these lace bundles. There's 9 meters in that one. They're all a little bit different. Don't remember that one in there. Then we've got some larger bundles, you know, just some different stuff. Most of the laces are nylon, some are cotton nylon, some are, you know, and these are just stash builders really, most of these laces. I've tried selling them as the whole card and that's not working, so I've done some stash busters. There's some gorgeous laces. This one, for example, I spoke about this one yesterday. We've got this great big wide one here, and yes, it's not cotton, but I've been using this as a background, a builder piece on the textile collages, and it's just bloody gorgeous. And this one here, this is a lovely, you know, you can use the medallions. It's a beautiful piece, and this is a bridal lace. They're beautiful laces. Again, fabulous stash buster. That one. Or to add to your stash, you know what I mean. I think I've only got one of these left at the moment. These are 100% wool. And I put these packs together for needle books. So I use this is doctor's flannel or wool suiting. All different sizes. See, some of these pieces are large enough you could get 2 books or 2 pages out of one piece. That blue is a beautiful colour, blue and grey. One of the last needle books I did has this colour in it. We've got a plain grey, we've got a navy, like a fine houndstooth with a red line through it. But these are fantastic for needle books. As I said, they are 100% wool, each piece. They are all vintage pieces. Some of these have come from my grandmother's. Some are from a friend of mine who worked for Titius Michelle in Newcastle, and some of them are from there. Some of them are from deceased estates. So I've just put together some bundles of this. As I said, I use these as my pages in my needle books primarily, because I've always been taught you should store your needles and pins in wool. And the reasoning behind that is because even though this has been processed and manufactured commercially, it still has enough lanolin in it to preserve your tools. There's only one of those left at the moment. They went really quick. If you hop on and there's none left on my Instagram page, please comment that you'd like one, and I think I've got enough. I can put another couple of bundles together if you're really interested. Okay, then I've got, okay, we'll go to this one next. I've got 4 of these left. 1, 2, 3, 4. These again are to add to your stash, and these are some of my favorite vintage. These are out of my personal collection again. So there is an enormous collection of different laces in here. There are crochet medallions. There's beautiful ribbons, a bit of rickrack, some piping, some beautiful vintage braids. There are pieces of lace. There are, you know, these are great to cut up into medallions, these little squares of lace. Even these, the flowers. There's a vintage crocheted pansy in each one. They are fabulous packs to add to your stash, especially if you don't have much stuff yet. And I specifically designed these with pinch pots and collage packs and needle books in mind. Okay, so there's only 4 of those left. If you want one of those, I'd hop on because they're going very quickly, and I don't think I have enough stuff left to make any more of those packs up. Now lastly, what I'm going to show you, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot more stuff on my Instagram page, but I just want to show you these things. Lastly, and these went very quickly too, I've got a handful left, and I have put together some pinch pot kits. Now I know I said I didn't think I was going to do them. I didn't even think I was going to make them, but I've done a deep dive into it, and this style of pinch pots with the vintage textiles, I'm pretty sure was started by Sarah from Roxy Creations. She speaks about how she'd had this idea in her mind to use vintage textiles. She's done a couple of great tutorials on how to do it. So I actually went through her tutorial and I followed her instructions, and I have already cut out the vintage wool blanketing in a circle. They're all 26 centimeter diameter, and I've already cut the slits in it for you. So all you have to do is work out how big you want your overlap to be and then start stitching it together. Now, I must add, this blanket was immaculate when I brought it home. I did wash it and then I've hung it out to dry. It smells really good. But in between bringing it inside and cutting it up, my dog has walked past, had a shake, and there is now some dog hairs on it. I have tried to pull them all out, but don't be surprised if you end up with one in your parcel. And I do apologize. I have tried everything to keep her as far away from them as possible. But I am noticing there's some more hairs out here. So, yesterday I showed me putting the vessel together, and I couldn't sleep last night, so I sat up doing some stitching, so I can't really show you. I suppose I could do that, and we might come back to that later after I've shown you these other things. And I will link Sarah's tutorial as well. But I digress. Let's get back to, before we jump ahead. So each one of these little kits I've put together, and these are just starter kits. There's not going to be, I don't think there's going to be enough fabric to do a whole bowl inside and out. Look, there's a bloody hair there. There's one of my hairs in there too. Gee, this is a good bonus, this one. It's one of my hairs and one of my dog's hairs. Bargain. Gee, it's goodbye. Anyway, getting back to this. I don't think there is quite a bit of fabric in there, and it's pretty much all vintage fabric. I can see, looks like there's a piece of Tilda in there, which is probably, oh no, the hexagons are going to be the newest fabrics in here. And I tried to get like reproduction vintage prints for the hexagons. There's a little bit of Tilda I can see in there, and there's a little bit, this one here came from the quilt store when I was working there, and that's about 15 years or so ago. The rest of it is a lot older. The Suffolk puffs, I want to say they're vintage. They're not exactly. They're not vintage Suffolk puffs, but they are Suffolk puffs I have made from vintage textiles, okay? So each pack has the pre-cut pure wool blanketing circle in it, like that. They also have either a vintage napkin or vintage hanky in each one. Look at the hanky in that one. Look at that one. They have a bundle of vintage textiles. They all have I think at least 3 Suffolk puffs. They all have some vintage embroidery, and they all have some vintage crochet medallions, as well as, like this one's got this beautiful vintage lace medallion in it. So that's all that's left. When I listed those, they went pretty quickly. If you can tolerate the odd dog hair, which again, I apologise so sincerely. I have tried so hard to keep her right away from this wool. And she, like, for a dog that is supposed to be non-shedding, I think she's been the hairiest shedding animal I've ever come across in my life. Honestly, there is hair everywhere. Okay, before I move on to that, let's have a quick look here. I have this. If someone's interested in buying this, because I won't use it, I'm just pulling it out of the bag it came in, and honestly, it's a little bit disappointing that it's not in... I mean, it's been stored in a plastic bag. It's a doll's wig. It is synthetic. It's got this short curl on top, and these long, look down here, it should be in a hairnet, but the hairnet hasn't come with it. There's these beautiful ringlets at the bottom here. It still has the tag on, so Global Dolls, made in the Philippines. So Global Dolls Corporation, Lincoln, California, USA. The wig is called Cerise. It's a dark brown color, size 11 to 12, made of Japanese Kanakailon mode acrylic fiber, made in the Philippines. So I do have this available. If anyone, thread in there, if anyone is interested. The netting looks good. It's all intact. It's just a little bit fuzzy here, and I know that can be remedied. I just don't know how to do it, so I'm not going to play around with it. But if anyone thinks they can use a doll's wig, I will look how much that should be and charge a bit less and list that in my Instagram. Just trying to gently put that back in the bag it came in so it won't fuzz up anymore. Okay, now I also have some, I tried to show this yesterday. I was given I'm not going to take it out of the bag because it catches on everything. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a scarf, and it's one of those things that you tie around your waist when you go belly dancing. It's very cool, and it feels nice to wear, but yeah, I got one of those. I've also got, now I'll probably be listing some of this, maybe not all of it. I've got some vintage Momotaro braid cord. Momotaro, there's one here that's already out of the plastic. It's a bit easier to see. It's a silver cord, twisted cord. I don't know how old it is. It says on the packet 1966. I don't think it's that old. Yeah, I don't know. But I've got some of that I think I will list because I won't use all of it, that's for sure. There's another one here that I don't think I will use at all that has, it's another braid, it has beads wrapped in it. I mean, they're good quality braids, they're just not something I think I will use. It feels good in the hand. It's not, don't know how to explain it. It's a heavier. So yeah, I've got some of that. I haven't listed these yet because I only got them yesterday. I've got more laces. I'm just trying to find. So I've got some of these, which again, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these because I don't think I will use them. They seem to be, has that got staining on it? I can't tell in this light. In one angle it looks like it's got a big yellow spot, in the other angle I can't see anything. So these are actually like lingerie lace, they're elasticized, and I don't know if I will use them. So I've got a few of those. I say a few, now I'm wondering how many is a few. Is it 2? Is it 4? Is it... two? Maybe 3 different ones in that sort of thing. I've got some more different, this one's a bit chunky, but some cotton lace. And again, I just don't know where to go with these laces because I list them and they don't move. I do bundles and they don't move. These are a bit different again. Now we've got a brown one here and a black one up here, and they're... And again, I don't think this is something I will use. I believe these came from a doll maker. Well, I mean, we've got the wig there. I know she was a doll maker, but I'm assuming that these were all used in the doll making. There's some lovely bobbin laces here. You know, I'll probably hang on to some, but I don't think I will use all of it. This one's a nice one, all cotton. Lovely cotton bobbin lace. And I mean, for me, these, I can imagine they'd make great ties on some of the needle books even. You could use them on the pinch pots. You know, there's so many things you could do with these laces. And I mean, the cotton ones are my favourites. The cotton, all the natural ones, the silk. There's another stretchy one. Yeah, so I've got a bag full there of laces that I've acquired. Bear with me for a moment while I tidy this up so I don't get myself in a big mess. Of course, you pack things away and then you get them back out to show someone. They never go back in again, do they? They never go back in the same. Okay, a little bit of show and tell before we start stitching. Okay, where will I start? That can go to the side. Some of this is a bit all over the place. So I got another bundle from Nairi since her last here. And I'll show you the things that came in that bundle. And again, as mentioned before, Nairi, if I am pronouncing your name incorrectly, I apologise most sincerely. Blame Google, because I Googled it, and that's how Google tells me to pronounce your name. These items from Nairi are always stunning. Look at this. Don't know what sort of fabric that is. I don't think it's linen. I'm pretty sure it's not linen. It's a bit, when you rub it between your fingers, it sort of feels a bit like corn flour. That sounds silly, doesn't it? I don't know how to explain it. But it's not the prettiest stitching, but the colours are gorgeous, and that edge, that crocheted edge, is lovely. This is a spectacular piece. This is salvaged from something. Look at that embroidery padded satin stitch, and I'm pretty sure it's hand done. Yep. And it's the end of something. Look at that. It's a lovely piece. That looks like it's on cotton. Cotton. I can't even say my words, which is not unusual for me at the moment, lately. These two little, I thought these would be good in needle books, either as pockets or, yeah, not sure yet, but they're a little bit unusual. It's almost like, I didn't realise they're machine stitched. I thought they were hand stitched. Not that it matters. And I can't remember this fabric. I can't remember the name of it. Then I've got this pair of little, I've got a bit of a thing for water lilies. I assume they're water lilies. These guys are very delicate and fragile. It feels like cotton but looks like linen. This is one I want in my personal collection. I've had a thing for Australiana lately, so I've been on the lookout for Australiana. So that little one will go in my collection, I think. This is one, this sandwich tray cloth, I thought would make a great page in a needle book. Look at that. That's beautiful, that one. All hand stitched, of course. It's beautifully done. This one's a bit unusual. I haven't seen one this shape before, but sunflowers on linen. Look at that. And I can imagine either turning it into a page in a needle book, or fold that over and hem it. By the time we put the hem on, that would make a lovely pocket in a needle book too. So there's that one. This one's beautiful. Look at that. Now, nearly all of these I bought thinking I'd use them in needle books, so I've just noticed there's a stain on that one I hadn't seen before, but that's okay. Hopefully that might come out. Here's another one. Now again, I thought this would make a lovely page, like so, in a larger needle book, or if we cut it in half, a pocket. So there's that one. This one, they're just, I keep saying this is beautiful, but it is. This is gorgeous. This linen is so soft, and look at the colours. Not the most detailed embroidery, but it's effective and it's pretty. And then this hanky, and I mean, I do have a few that are very similar, but none of the ones I have like this have this needle woven lace insertion like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. And again, the hankies I like to use in the needle books. So I thought that was a nice one for a needle book. I keep moving out of shot, I'm sorry. Here's another one. Another sandwich tray cloth I thought would be good in a needle book. This is satin stitch, but can you see that shimmer on that stitching on the fruit? Lovely. Now these next bits are little extras that Nairi's thrown in. She always throws in little extra lovely little gifts. So this beautiful piece of lace. And this lovely, where's the front? Looks like that's the front. Crochet doily. And then this little needlework. I've been thinking what I could do with this. Look at that. I'm wondering if I can utilise it in a needle book somehow, either as a pocket or a, I don't know, but that's lovely. Now they're from Nairi. Then I've got, I called into, oh no, do these first. These are ones I've picked up over the last few weeks from various places. This one, when I found it, oh, I haven't got you in the, it's not in the shot very well, is it? Hopefully that might be a bit better. When I found this one in the shop, it was in a basket and it was scrunched up in a ball like that. And it looked like it had been thrown in the washing machine and then just sort of dropped. And then someone found it later after it had dried out and it was all scrunched up. But I spotted that colour and that's why I pulled it out. It is a bit, it's a bit worn through on this side, this point here. But yeah, it's a bit different. I thought it would either be good for a page in a needle book or to pull apart and use the medallions. It's a, I want to say silk. It's not silk, but the stuff, rayon maybe, that was used to make it, used to be referred to as silk. Then I've got this poor little sandwich tray cloth. I don't know if I can show you this, how loved it has been. The stitching is worn in some places. It's worn off, especially on the green bits. So I've got that one. Then I've got this crocheted set. Now I feel like I've got another one of these that I've had bought recently. It'll be in my box somewhere, I'd say. But I picked this up because I thought it was so unusual. And initially, we're falling. This isn't going to hold. Hang on, bear with me for a moment. So, initially I thought I would deconstruct this and use the medallions. But looking at it more closely, I think if I did that, the whole thing would unravel. So I just thought it was unusual. I hadn't seen a crocheted, like there's already come undone there, a doily. It's the same fellow that you bark at every day. He lives there. He's lived here your whole life, mate. Okay. I just thought it was really unusual, and that's why I picked it out. I hadn't seen one crocheted like this before, and then since I found the original one, I've been finding quite a few more of them. Here's a smaller one, and then this smaller one. I mean, these smaller ones might work well in needle books. I don't know. And then that one. So I've got those. Then I thought these would be good in needle books as pages. I don't know, they might be too chunky, too big. Oh, I moved that so maybe you can see it better like that. Oops, just dropped some of those then. Of course I did. because why would it be bloody easy? Okay, so I've got 2 of that one, and again picked those out because I thought they were unusual. Then I found this one. A big basket. Now, when I picked these out thinking that I'll either use them as pages in needle books or cut them out and use the flowers as applique. Then there's 2 of these which in theory would make either pages or, I don't know if this would work because that basket's in the middle, a pocket. Yeah, don't know if they'll work or not. Looks like they've been pinned together. There's rust stains there and there and there. But there's that set. That's another one I've come across. Then I've got these 2. Now I picked these 2 up to cut up. Don't know if I will now. Because I've used these before that were damaged, and you get the butterflies and you also get this netting shape in here. I love using that in my collages, as well as this edging. So I got both of those. Now I think the rest of this I got from my cousin's shop. I called in to visit her last week. Haven't seen her for ages. She has a shop out at Westy called Former Glory Emporium. And I will add that. Here we go. So that's her shop. She is a bit busy at the moment preparing for her wedding. So that's exciting. But I've picked up some lovely items from her the other day. Vintage hanky. There's a few hankies here. Now I'm pretty sure I haven't washed any of these yet. I don't think I have. If I have, they're in a rough way. I actually picked up a box of these and I must have left it at the shop because I haven't been able to find it. Lovely linen one. Look at the work on this if I can. Look at that. Embroidery, pulled and withdrawn thread work, needle weaving. That's stunning, that one. Then we've got this one. I find these are good for the needle books. This one's a bit unusual. I haven't seen one like this before. Little crocheted corner in it. I've seen them with the crinoline ladies stitched in, but not that design. This is one of my favourites. This is a pretty one. This one. Some of these might be from Nairi too. I can't remember now. I need to pay more attention. I try to keep them grouped together at least to do these videos, and then if I forget I can go back through and remember. And I've got this one with that lovely, look at the crocheted edge on that. Very pretty. Then I found, now this wasn't from my cousins, this was from somewhere else, but I picked this up because I ummed and ahed at first. I put it back, I picked it up, I put it back. I'm pretty sure this is a sauce bottle cover, and it would have gone on a bottle of Worcestershire sauce, I would say, something like that. Or the little crystal vinegar bottles that we had, but usually it would go on something like Worcestershire sauce bottle, the old glass bottles. Bit of ribbon run through that top there, and I tested it out on my Worcestershire. I always used to pronounce it Worcestershire, but apparently the correct pronunciation is Worcestershire. So I did check it. It does fit my It actually fits my large Worcestershire bottle, just. But it would definitely be, sorry guys, it would definitely fit the smaller bottle very well. Now this is from my cousin's. Look at that. It's very pretty. I've had a couple of these recently that have like a number stamped. Oh, it's handwritten. I've come across a few recently with this. I don't know why. They're there. They're not all from the same place, so it's not one person doing it. And it doesn't usually wash out, so I don't know what that's about. Here's another hanky, a linen one with a lovely crocheted edge. Needs a good soak. This is a pretty one. I thought this would make a lovely page in a needle book. So there, look, that would make a lovely page or a pocket. Either way, I like the page for that one. I've got another sandwich tray cloth from Kells on linen. This one's been well loved. This is a sandwich tray cloth from Kells. Again, needs a good soak. This is an unusual fabric. It's almost an Aida cloth. It's not, but it's very similar to Aida. And I bought this old, I stuck these in here. These are from Kells too. Now this was sold as a hanky, but I'm not, it could be a napkin. It's linen. I don't know. It needs a good soak, I know that much. And then I've got these. It was after some that were a bit more masculine, see? These ones and this one. So I got those from Kells. I found this at Kells as well. An old or partial flour sack bag. Now it's been, the bottom's been cut off. I really like this. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I would like to make something with that. Don't know what. Oh, this is another one from Kells. This little, we didn't know what that was. It is linen. It's hand embroidered, and I reckon it might have been a compact case to keep your compact in, possibly in your handbag when you're out and about. But I thought that would make a pocket in a needle book. That one. Oh no, I'll stick with this. And I got these from Kells too, and I might even share one or two of these. I'm not sure yet because I absolutely love them. But okay, now this one's heavily stained. I don't think they've ever been used, really. They're sort of half hanging out of this plastic bag. So I thought this, I saw this at first and thought, oh, wouldn't that make a great, it's folded in half, wouldn't that make a great page in a needle book? If it's linen, and if I sort of, you know, go like this, lovely page, but then look at the other side. Look at that. So they had to come home with me. I think they're stunning. Yeah, I've got a couple of them. I think there's 8 there. Might share, don't know. I just love those ones a lot. Let's jump around a bit. That's all from Kells. Oh no, this is from Kells too. I bought this piece of vintage lace. It is absolutely stunning. I can't remember what type it is, what it's called. I always want to call this pure, but it's not. Absolutely beautiful. I've already cut into it because I cut a medallion out that I put in one of those pinch pot kits. But I'm always on the lookout for vintage laces like this that, you know, I can see them on 1950s and 60s little go-go dresses or wedding dresses. There's probably wedding wedding gown lace. I have seen them on little mini dresses, vintage mini dresses. But I like to collect these pieces that I use. I either cut out the medallions or I use them as pages in needle books. So that's something else I've acquired recently since we've last gathered. I'll go a bit backwards here. I picked this one up on Tuesday. I didn't go looking, but I had my eye on some of these years ago when they were first released. I loved them. I couldn't afford them, so I didn't get any. But I saw these 3 yesterday. These are panels, and the artist is a local artist. I've met her a couple of times. Absolutely think she's fabulous. We had very similar ethics, and we had the same pets growing up, and turtles and possums and all sorts of things. But these are some of hers, and I originally bought these the other day to give my cousin, but now I'm, because I've always wanted some of these panels, I'm tossing up whether to keep them for myself or give them to my cousin to use, or to list them to be available. So I've got the ring-tailed possum in the gum tree. Now the artist's name is Natalie Jane Parker. She lives local to me here. As I said, I have met her a few times. Watching her work is mind-blowing. Her art is absolutely stunning. She does sell original oil paintings of her work. This is a koala in a gum tree. And then the final one I've got is a pair of kookaburras in the garden. They're absolutely stunning. So yeah, Natalie Jane Parker collection. So there we go. That's another one I came across. I mean, I buy these things for myself with all good intentions. But then I sit here some days and I think, when the hell do you think you're going to get all that stuff made? When are you going to get all of that done? So yeah, that's another reason I'm moving some things on. This was a vintage apron I got last week or the week before. It had this funny vintage lace on it that I can't find now. There's a bit of it on the end of the ribbon. This satin ribbon was across the top for the waistband. It had, this lace was around the outside, and there was a triangle of it here, which I thought was a pocket, but it was just a triangle of lace stitched on. And then the bottom corners were turned under there and there and stitched down, and that made the shape of the apron. But I did buy this to deconstruct because it's a beautiful vintage, I'd say 1950s, possibly 1960s cotton fabric. So I have deconstructed that to salvage that piece of fabric primarily for needle books. I also got hold of, I got some more crochet cottons. And again, I think I've mentioned this before, I don't always buy these. They've got to be within my price range. And normally I don't like to pay more than $1 a ball. If they're more than that, most of the time they'll stay there unless it's something pretty spectacular. So I got that packet, and I got these little bits. Now mainly now I look out for variegated colours. They're getting harder and harder to come by. I have a few ecru. I don't have much white. So I was putting a ball of those in all of my kits, in my needlebook kits, but I'm going through them too quickly and I can't get hold of them like I could previously. So if they go into kits in future, it may just be lengths wound onto card, unless I can find a big stash. Then I got my hands on this the other day, and I mean, I didn't open it in the shop. It was inexpensive. I just grabbed it and walked out. These two pieces, that's pretty much all I could see. So I assumed it was a supper cloth. It's not. It is. There's a lot of heavy staining on this. And I don't think I'm going to get this all in one shot. It's... So there's the width of it, but it's longer length, like acrossways. So, and there's two of them, two the same. And at first I thought they were like table mats, they're not doilies, they're not supper cloths. It is cotton, and the size of it makes me think that it might actually be a cushion, a pillow cover, a pillowcase for a bed. That's the same size as a pillowcase. So I got that one. Then I'm getting towards the end, guys. This one, and again, I didn't open this. It was in a plastic bag. I saw the linen and I just picked it up. I thought it was just a doily. Now, going on the instructions on this, this is not an original release. Going from this piece of paper attached to it, this would be a second release. There was another whole series of My Art and Semco, I think, bought out, did a big re-release in the 90s. So I reckon this is from the 90s. We've got that DMC logo, the colour key. We've got the instructions in here. We've got some stitch. Someone's even added more instructions, which is really cool. And again, I thought it was just a doily or a tray mat, but it's actually a Duchess set or a vanity set. So we've got the larger one at the top and the two smaller vanity set. Pure linen, carnations and pansies, very pretty. Quite a bit of heavy staining on that fold there, which I'd say has been peeking out of that plastic bag all those years. It's just in a Ziploc bag, a sandwich bag. So there's that. Nearly done. I just wanted, this is new, this was given to me the other day by a friend, this pretty little vintage braid that I think I'll keep because I like that one. And finally, this tray. I've got to show you this before I forget. This, it's in, and again, you're not going to see it all because I can't get the camera back far enough. It's a vintage timber tray. The underside is masonite. It's actually like a bed tray. So if I turn it over, you can see the masonite. I've dated it to the 50s, going from the hardware, the colour of the paint, the age of some of the other stuff that's fallen out. Yeah, I think this is the 1950s, this thing. And you just sort of fold the feet out and turn it over and you've got a breakfast tray. And I love it. I have been looking for something, especially in winter. I tend to not be overly well during winter, and sometimes I stay in bed to keep warm, and then I'll sit in there and do some stitching or do some work. And I previously have been using like a plastic board on a beanbag thing I got from Target a few years ago, and it's only about half the size of this. So when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, it needs a bit of repairing. That split, that joint's come up, is opening up a bit, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually a lead paint on it, this very pretty green. And I paid $1 for this tray, so it had to come home with me. I love it. It has already been put to use quite a few times since I brought it home. I also got a couple of vintage spirit levels for my son because he started collecting vintage tools. My dad and I are going to start restoring them for him. Okay, next thing for show and tell is I bought myself another little parcel from Beck at So Be. I love her stuff. I love her textiles. It really wasn't within my budget, but I haven't bought myself anything special since my birthday last year. So a couple of weeks ago I thought, bugger it, I ordered something. The top is stuff that I've ordered previously that I got for my birthday last year. So if I remove that, I will get down to... Oh, this is another little sandwich tray cloth I got from Kells that I thought was really cute. Would make lovely little pages in a needle book. That was in there. Okay, so I got some more Suffolk puffs. Very pretty colours. The last lot I got were primarily green. So I got this one this time. And I got another needlebook kit. Now, this is a bit, it's in a bit of a mess because I've already opened it a couple of times. So it did look much nicer than this when it arrived. But of course you get your piece of doctor's flannel, your pure wool flannel, and then this time I've got this beautiful, beautiful piece of vintage cutter quilt. And I'm always, I think it cut out of yesterday's video. Look at this. This is stunning. I love it. Every time I look at these vintage cutter quilts, now I'm assuming, and I'm likely wrong, but you know, I've gone looking for some similar to this. They're never within my budget. I'm assuming this has most likely been sourced from America. I don't know. I haven't asked Beck. But from my research, I'd say it likely has. Looking at this, to me, and again, I'm no expert in these particular textiles, but I reckon most of these are feed sack by the look of them, especially this one. This one. Absolutely adore this piece. But every time I look at these, my mind is a rush of, you know, I look at these little hexagons, how, you know, this piece would have to be, I reckon, at least 100 years old, this piece, at least. Looking at the fabrics, the style, the way it's been put together, it does have, interestingly, it does have a wadding in here, which is a little bit unusual because oftentimes I've seen them and they've got, I think this piece has wadding too, actually. Sometimes they just have layers of fabric. This one's got a cotton. Look at this one. How delicate this one is. It almost looks like cotton balls that have been stretched out, this piece. On that one. That's one I got last year for my birthday. This is another piece I got last year. This is, can we peek a corner of this one? That's another wadding. Again, that looks like cotton to me, cotton wadding. But this one, it's probably cotton too, but let's see if we can find a corner. It'd have to be cotton, I'd imagine. It's just got a little bit more loft than I usually see. Yeah, it feels like cotton. But anyway, I look at how this has been stitched together, how, you know, all the detail in each one of these has been top stitched around. I think about who made it, what was her life like, what did she endure, when did she have time to sit and make this, how old would she have been when she made it. Now I think about all these sorts of things when I look at these beautiful old vintage textiles. Just love them, they're stunning. And then it makes it even harder to use them to make things, especially when I don't often keep them for myself. So let's continue on what else was in this kit. I think this is a napkin. Yeah, it's hand stitched, so that's quite pretty. Again, in usual Beck style, they're all beautifully colour coordinated. This beautiful linen doily. This beautiful, this one's stunning. Look at that one. And this is in immaculate condition, this piece. Looks like it's never been used. Cannot see a mark on it. I never come across pieces in this sort of condition. Beautiful. And then there was a sandwich tray cloth in there. This is a bit different. This one is a bit more threadbare and it does have some yellowing on it. So I feel better about that. But it's still stunning and it is really fine. This crochet is done in that silk that's not actual silk. It's probably a rayon or something. Beautiful. Which I think it's rayon. Now, don't quote me on this. I only found out in the last couple of years that some of the textiles that I thought were man-made are not, and I think rayon's one of them. I'll have to double check that. Don't quote me on that. These beautiful Suffolk puffs, these look like feed sack to me. Look at that print. I love them. I just love them. I cannot get enough of these vintage textiles. This poor one, look, it's worn through here. Then we've got this one. If I could get my hands on all of these, I reckon I would just stroke them and look at them and marvel in them all bloody day. I love them. I love this one. And now these are not my favourite colours at all. Yellows and browns, I'm not autumnal. I don't like those tones. But look how cool this is. And again, I'm pretty sure this is another feed sack. Look at it. Love it. And then this beautiful braid came in this kit. And I've got some similar to this, very similar. But I think mine's a little bit finer. So that obviously has come in as the tie for the needle book. And there's also another couple of vintage laundry tags. I love these as well. I'd love to buy a box of these. I have seen some, I just haven't had the money when I've seen them. So there we go. That's my purchases to date lately. Oh, well, no, there's more. Well, actually, most of that last bit was purchases, but some of that was actually gifted to me. So anyway, bear with me for a second. This is going to be noisy. And of course, that came in the beautiful cards that come in Beck's bundles. postcards with a little handwritten note on the back from Lucy. And of course they arrive in these, in the signature pink box. Let me just put it together. And of course that would be too easy. For some reason I can't get that to close. But it comes in the signature pink box. So there we go. Now, the only other thing I think I wanted to show you, I've got to move my feet, sorry guys, is that I have started, again, as usual, I've got 20 something projects on the go at once. Back to this wool blanketing that I've cut out, and bloody dog hair, I tell ya. And I'm sure this must come when she shakes, because there was none on here. And she is a big girl, so when she does shake, not only hair, but drool often goes flying. I need to wash my walls nearly every bloody day. Oh, I think I told you, I came up the stairs one day. She'd only been with me about 12, 18 months, I suppose. And I came up the stairwell. It was morning, so I probably wasn't proper awake. And I thought, I don't remember hanging crystals on the stairwell, on the rail, you know, that draped them. Looked like these fine little crystals, Swarovski crystals, and they were glimmering and glinting in the morning sun. And I thought, they're so pretty, but I don't remember putting them there. Have I had a string of crystals or something that I've dropped and not been aware of? Well, when I put my glasses on and had a look, it was a glob of her drool that was dripping from the bloody railing. Oh, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, so as I was going to try and explain, I will put a link for Sarah's tutorial, but this is my first bowl that I've started, and I thought I'd do it all blue, but it hasn't worked out all blue. I've sort of wandered from the path a bit. So what I did, I just tacked it first, but I do give myself a lot of work when I do that. I like to use crochet cotton a lot because it's sturdy and I like the feel of it for this sort of thing. I tell you what, I need to buy some good needles because the ones I've been using are ones I've picked up second hand and they're a bit cheap and nasty, to be honest. They're not the greatest. I'm just looking for an appropriately sized one. So what I did, and again, this is all in Sarah's tutorial. Oops. It's a bit more springy, this stuff, sometimes. So we've got our 8 cuts in the piece in your kit that I've done. And what you've got to do is decide how big you want to do your overlap. So initially I only came in at 2 centimeters. So see that? But at 2 centimeters, I'll see if I can, I don't have any pins out here. Let's see if I can give you an idea of this needle in my hand at the moment actually has the eye snapped off, so it's not usable for anything other than that. And I do try and have all my overlaps running in the same direction, just because I'm a bit of a perfectionist like that, I suppose. So it's a bit hard to tell, but if I only did that 2 centimeters, it's going to be quite an open bowl. Oh, Bubba, what's your hurry? All of a sudden she wants my attention. She's pressing buttons. So, if I only come in about 2 centimeters at every join, it's going to sort of sit out quite open and low. I don't know how much structure it will have because I haven't made one. I might do this next one like that. But then I went from that extreme, from 2 centimeters to this one where I've done a 4 centimeter overlap. And I think I've come in too heavily on this because the walls are more upright, which is what I wanted, but, and it might just be because I haven't put the fabric in yet. What I'm noticing is the wool is stretching and warping as I'm stitching. So I've come along here and put an extra pleat to take. There's a big wave here. So I've sort of stitched that down to try and take that out. And you can see over here, see it's gone, it's waving. Look here, this big dip out because the wool's stretching. I don't know how to avoid that. I don't know what I've done. And I'm worried now that I've put that extra fold in there. Is it going to tilt it all to one side a bit? It sort of feels like it will. What's your hurry? Why are you hungry? Hungry, hungry soon, hungry soon. This is the button she's pressing. Hungry, hungry, hungry soon, hungry soon. Why? Are you hungry or are you pressing the wrong button? What's the urgency? Do you mean another word? She might need to go to the toilet. Normally she tells me though. So, I digress. I started this one yesterday on camera. I lost all that footage. Sat up last night stitching because I couldn't sleep, and this is what I've done. So as I said, this was the first piece I laid down, a piece of linen, vintage linen, and I used this vintage crochet cotton to stitch it with. And in my mind I thought I was just going to do all blues, and as I've gone along it hasn't remained all blue. I did do a colour pool, but I just felt it needed more They're all vintage except for, this is a piece of Tilda. Pretty sure that's a bit from Beck. And that one's the 1995. Apart from that, the rest of these are a lot older. It's a bit of bark cloth. Yeah. So I have done a fabric pull. I have started, I don't know if I will use these, but I have started collecting some bits that I might add to it. Crochet medallion. Why are you licking the screen, you big gooby? I don't know if this can be worked into it somehow. Piece of linen. I haven't trimmed these yet, but these are from different lace panels that I've started to cut out. I do have some, I don't have them all here, but I do have some. Of course I don't have any the right colour. I do have some yo-yos. I do have some... Oh, what I don't have much embroidered, vintage embroidery. Mainly because I can't come at cutting it up. This is a piece that I got in a previous kit from Beck that I haven't used yet. I do have some little... I think these are from the 80s because I remember these when I was a kid. Little... So I don't exactly know what I'm going to do with this one yet. Put that in the wrong bag, of course. So I have pulled some bits and pieces. I have started on that. I'm not exactly sure. I do have some hexagons. Now I put some of these hexagons in the kits, but that's not the right colour, is it? I'm starting to think they might be too big. I need smaller ones. But anyway, that is where this is heading so far. I'm just feeling a bit, what's the word? I'm not entirely confident in this only because it's warping so much. That wool base is warping quite a bit. Now, initially when I started this, for this linen piece, and then I think this piece next, and you know, as I was building up, I was basting these down first. I don't know if that's where I've gone wrong or if that's where I've gone right, because I know I didn't base this piece, this area here, and that's where it's starting to really stretch. Goodness me, there's nothing there. There's a car. Crikey Moses. It's a kid on a scooter. So yeah, I'm not filled with confidence on this piece at this stage. Yesterday I addressed Kathleen in my video, and I have completely forgotten to do that today. And I'm just... Will you please stop yelling? Please, stop it. Stop. You big buffhead. She doesn't like activity outside her castle. I can't even remember what I was saying to you yesterday, Kathleen. so overtired and brain dead. And then I had a different physiotherapist today, a student physiotherapist from the uni, and don't get me wrong, she was very good. However, she started me on a very heavy routine that was a lot more intense. And once again, it's the same people that walk past every bloody day. Willow! You're gonna give yourself a conniption, mate. Obviously you guys heard her, but that's enough. Can you please start yelling at them? They come past every single day, mate. Every day. For your entire life, they've been coming here before you even. Now you're just yelling for the fun of it. There's no one there. Stop it. You are hurting my ears now, and I'm getting really impatient with this. Please stop it. Because, you know, she understands exactly what I'm saying. Not. Anyway. She got really over the top then. She was jumping up and stomping. And I haven't seen her do that before. And these people walk past every day. Every bloody day. And she just lost her noodle at them. So I don't know what's going on there. Why we're increasingly becoming... if that door was open, it would be a different story. If I was out here, if I had her out here with me, you wouldn't hear her. She wouldn't make sound. But I can't manage her and do the video at the same time because she's a very big girl and there's a very small amount of space here. So it's starting to look like I need to come up with a different solution for her when I'm out here, or for me to be in there with her when I'm doing this. She is going in for surgery in May. So that's the soonest we could get in, would you believe? I booked that a few weeks ago now. That may help her behaviour a bit. But I'm even actually getting to the point where I'm getting a little bit anxious to take her out in public. And we go out all the time. I've always taken her out. She's always been with me. She's always been socialised. But more recently we're having some reactivity that I'm not happy with. And I don't know how to address it. She may have to start wearing a muzzle, which I do not want to do. I don't know if it's because she's not coping with the new neighbours at all. I'm thinking that that is a very big trigger for her. When I was at therapy today, Mum said that they were making some noise in there and she lost it, apparently. And we've had an upset girl all day since. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyway, I might say goodbye because it's starting to get dark and the mosquitoes are starting to move in, and hairy legs in there, it needs some attention. So, not overly happy with this at all at the moment. Hopefully, if you've done one of these, let me know in the comments if yours warped at all, if it twisted. And if it did it sort of correct itself as you kept going, or did you have to redo it? Or yeah, let me know, because as I said, I'm not brimming with confidence with it at the moment. But anyway, I will sign off. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me again today. Again, if there's anything that I've shown you today that you might be interested in buying, go over to Gladys and Maude Unearthed on Instagram. Far out. I'm trying really hard not to swear. If I do swear, I apologise, and it's involuntary because my brain's just so fried. Yeah, there should be a link in my bio, in my YouTube bio, to my Instagram. If there's anything you'd like to show me or share or whatever, just let me know in the comments. If you comment during the live, those comments disappear when I upload it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love it if you could do that. If you could consider doing that, I'd really appreciate it, mainly because YouTube keeps telling me that I don't have enough followers yet. They want me to have a minimum of 500 to have unlimited lives, but apparently they cap me off at 50 until I've got more than 500 followers. I can't pre-record because my phone's dead. It just won't let me do it. So this has been working so far. So yeah, I need quite a couple of hundred more likes to reach that that stage where I can continue to do the videos, if that makes sense. I'm sorry guys, I can't think straight. My ears are hurting after that barking. My head's hurting. I haven't slept for a few days, so I'm starting to feel a bit ordinary. So again, I'm going to go. Thank you so much. Any questions or anything, drop them in the comments and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. But most of all, I thank you so very much for joining me. If I've mentioned anyone or I know I mentioned Sarah's tutorials, I will link those. If you go and have a look, I might not get a chance to link and write up all the information before tomorrow. You know, it might take me 24 hours or so to do it. If it's not there when you go and have a look, please come back in a couple of days and hopefully it will be there. I'm just finding dealing with all the stuff I'm doing and looking after Missy at the moment while she's so distressed. It's taking me a bit longer to get to these things, so I appreciate you for your patience and for bearing with me and for being here, you know. So thank you again, and I will look forward to coming back again and seeing you next time. Thank you. Be safe, guys.